Alright, so in the last video I talked about how you can activate your sequence through Blueprint to play as a cutscene or as an intro cutscene. And so now I'm just going to go over some ways that you can control your sequence through Blueprint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our boss fight sequence here. I'm going to disable autoplay, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it through our Blueprint here. So on event begin play, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create level sequence player, and I'm going to select the master boss fight, and then I'm going to play it. Sorry, that's not the right one. We're going to play. There we go. Now, as well as simply playing our sequence, we have a lot of other options as well. For example, we can play it looping. So if we do this, we can play a cutscene or animation a number of times. If it's set to -1 here, then it'll play infinitely, but you could set it to 1, 2, 3, 10, 100. You could set this to whatever, and it'll continue to loop your animation as much as you like. Another thing that you can do is you can pause your animation. Let's say you have a pause button in your game. You could make an event that says when the player hits the 1 key, when that is pressed, we will pause. And so we could just look at this right here. You see when I hit 1, the animation pauses. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff as well here. So for example, we've got the stop node, which is another very useful one. And if we stop our animation, what this is going to do is it's basically going to completely cancel it as if it was never happening. It's going to stop the animation and go back to it not being there at all. It's going to completely cancel it. And so those are three of probably the most useful ones. However, we also have a reverse node, so we can play it in reverse. So let's say, I'm not entirely sure when you would want to reverse a cutscene, but you can. As you can see here, I hit 1, and now it goes in reverse. So that's something else. But those are all the main things that you're going to probably want to use. There are, of course, plenty more things that you can do in here that are a bit more advanced and that you probably won't need to use very often. But of course, if you're programming a game, you might need to see things like getting the end time or getting the duration or getting information on how far through the animation a person is. And Unreal Engine has lots of different learning resources for those specific, more advanced things. But since that's a little bit outside the scope of this course, that is about it for other things that you can do to edit your sequence. I just kind of wanted to let you know that that there are other things that you can do that that might be useful, just so that you're aware that it's not just as simple as pausing and playing, and that there is a bit of depth that you can get into there if you do need it.